Well, if you're living in the city of Greeley, there's a good chance that you live in a homeowners association or an HOA. And here to tell us more about how the city is engaging with our HOAs and helping a few folks out, we have Becky Safarik, who is the interim community development director with the city of Greeley. Becky, great to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Now, as I mentioned, we have some HOA workshops, one of those that has already begun or has already happened, and then we have some additional ones coming up. But for those viewers who may not know or may not be involved with an HOA or want to know why the city is involved with HOAs, can you give us a little more?
I would be glad to. Homeowners associations are the ways that many neighborhoods organize the way that their neighborhoods appear or function or even have social engagement with one another. They're really important organizations, but they also have legal responsibilities. One of the things that the city thought we could help out with is to provide some free training for HOA leaders that are typically residents of the community and maybe don't have a legal background themselves, but are willing to do something that's really good for their neighborhood and have stepped up into those leadership positions. So the city is offering 4 workshops each year that are free to HOA representatives or really anyone who's interested in this kind of work to help them be more functional and really feel better about the way that they can manage their own neighborhoods.
Now, if we're being, I guess, totally honest, I know that there are sometimes HOAs can be a little bit of the butt of jokes, can I say that? Yeah. And are not necessarily always a positive conversation, but with these workshops, we're hoping to turn that around and to make them more energized and more informed, I guess, so that they can be successful and not be the part of some of those kind of jokes that maybe people aren't so happy with their HOAs.
I think there are stereotypes about HOAs, but they really serve an important function. For the most part, they also deal with common open space and areas that all the residents in a neighborhood have some responsibility for. So they provide a way for that leadership to provide an organized and fair way for those rules that are in the HOA to be enforced. I think much of what is the challenge is when HOAs may go further than perhaps the city's rules require. Some of that's at the option of the neighbors, and others may seem a little bit extreme. This is why these workshops are so helpful, is we can kind of provide the guidance through some legal advice that we're getting in the instruction of those workshops, but also to give them the parameters. Here's the bookends of what is the minimum you need to do in an HOA, and here's the other things you can think about. But we deal a lot with communication and notice, legal rights, a number of things that just help these organizations be effective but also fair.
Now, just to, I guess, give it a little bit of gold sparkle, because I can't think of anything else. These workshops are hosted, I guess you could say, by the city of Greeley, but that they are instructed or led by some attorneys that come and help do this kind of pro bono and to make sure that our community is educated. Can we talk about them a little bit?
Absolutely. Altitude Community Law is a firm out of Denver that we've worked with for a number of years. They've offered to do these workshops free for the city, and we of course are passing that on to our residents. The 2 instructors that we have that have been coming have gotten just rave reviews from the folks who've attended. They're enthusiastic, they speak layman's terms and language that make it very easy to participate, and they're really good about answering questions. They really want people to understand the law, be successful and effective at what they do, and of course if they can give them some tips on how to make life easier for the way they operate based on their experience, they do that as well.
All right, as I mentioned at the beginning, you mentioned actually that there were 4 workshops that are happening. We have 3 of those left going forward in the rest of the year. Can you give us an idea of when those dates are and how people can I guess RSVP, because I know that you guys are looking for folks to do that.
Yes, we have one each quarter. The first one was held in March. The next one's going to be in June. And then we have one in September and December. And folks can sign up through the Community Development Department for these workshops. Again, they're free. We do ask people to sign up in advance because we have limited space and room. For example, at our first workshop, we had over 80 people come. We had plenty of room for that. We're glad to have that many people. We'd love to have more, but we need to make sure we have rooms that are big enough for everybody. So signing up in advance, bringing anybody that you want to from your HOA, or if you have somebody who's just curious about maybe moving into an HOA community and wants to know more about it, they're all welcome to come.
Yeah, Each of those presentations, the one that's going to be in June, September, and December, are all held at the Greeley Family Funplex from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Again, you can find more details out by doing the RSVP. So, Becky, I know there's one other thing we wanted to touch on, and that is some of the neighborhood block grants that are out there and available for folks.
Absolutely. One of the other things we provide in these workshops is information about our neighborhood improvement grants. These are matching grants that are available to neighborhoods to do improvement projects within their community, whether they're an HOA or just a neighborhood or any combination thereof. We'd love for folks to know that we would like to support them in making Greeley better and making their neighborhoods more functional and attractive, so they can check out that on our website as well.
All right. Well, Becky, thank you so much for being here today. The city is here to help, and you've given us some great tips on ways that we can go about making our neighborhoods and our community even better. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for letting me talk.
All right, so again, we have those HOA workshops that are coming up. Make sure that you mark your calendars for the months of June, September, and December. To RSVP, you can call 970-350-9780, or you can reach out to the email on the screen.